Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. We're here this morning for our Administrative Matters meeting, and I call this meeting to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning and welcome, everyone. I'm Kristen Stevens, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, and with me are my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Jody Shattuck McNally, who's also Chair Pro Tem, and Commissioner John Kafalis. To my right, we have Lindsay Jones from the clerk's office helping us with note-taking and record-keeping. We have our county manager with us this morning, Lorenda Volker, Tom Clayton from Public Affairs, and Sarah Martin from the Commissioner's office. So welcome to all of you. We will begin with public comment. We have no one signed up for public comment. We have no public in the audience. So Sarah, was there anyone that wanted to call in with public comment?
No, Commissioner.
No. Then we will just close public comment for the day and remind folks that anyone wishing to come for public comment can come join us next week at the same time, 9 a.m. You can also send us an email or give us a phone call. We're happy to talk to you about any issues and concerns that you might have. So we'll begin then with the approval of the minutes. Commissioner Shattuck McNally, I'll ask you to make the motion for that.
Certainly, Madam Chair. I move to approve the minutes for the week of October 6, 2025.
Thank you. Motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. And we will move on to Sarah Martin with our upcoming schedule review.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for October 20th through the 25th. On Monday, October 20th, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the National Association of Counties Surface Transportation Reauthorization Fly-In meeting in Washington, D.C. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the elected officials' lunch at the Rio Grande Mexican Restaurant at 143 West Mountain Avenue in Fort Collins. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources in the Commissioners' Conference Room on the second floor. From 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Suicide Fatality Review Board meeting. On Tuesday, October 21st, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the National Association of Counties Surface Transportation Reauthorization Fly-In meeting in Washington, D.C. From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Community Corrections Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. From 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Community Corrections Advisory Board training, Restorative Justice Practices. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. On Wednesday, October 22nd, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the North Fort Collins Business Association meeting at the Rocky Mountain Innisphere at 320 East Vine Drive in Fort Collins. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the National Association of Counties Surface Transportation Reauthorization Fly-In meeting in Washington, D.C. From 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Department of Natural Resources All-Staff meeting at the Larimer County Office of Emergency Management at 4872 Endeavor Drive in Johnstown. From 9:45 a.m. to 1:15 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Nature Conservancy, the State of Renewable Energy in Colorado event at the Butterfly Pavilion at 6252 West 10th Avenue in Westminster. From 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., there will be a work session, an overview of the 2025 revised and 2026 proposed budgets in the Commissioners' Conference Room on the second floor. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Community Advisory Board meeting at the Larimer County Coroner's Office at 1600 Prospect Park Way in Fort Collins. On Thursday, October 23rd, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Colorado Department of Transportation Region 4 Transportation Planning Region /Statewide Transportation Advisory Committee /Transportation Commissioners Meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 10601 West 10th Street in Greeley or virtually via Google Meet. From 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Regional Opioid Abatement Meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 2260 West Trilby Road in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. From 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual non-attainment area air pollution mitigation enterprise meeting. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 300 LaPorte Avenue in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. From 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioners Cafalas and Shattuck McNally may attend the Open Lands and Parks Advisory Boards meeting. It's at 2260 West Trilby Road in Fort Collins. On Friday, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together check-in meeting. On Saturday, October 25th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioners Cafalas and Shattuck McNally will attend the City of Fort Collins Resource Fair for Mobile Home Park residents at Northside Aslan Community Center at 112 East Willow Street in Fort Collins. And from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will attend the Livermore Community Wildfire Protection Plan kickoff meeting at the Livermore Fire Protection District Station 1 at 311 West County Road 74E in Livermore.
Thank you, Sarah. Commissioners, corrections or additions? Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Also, I needed to add, Sarah, I'm going to do partial of the Community Advisory Board on the 22nd for the tour, but then I'm also heading over to the Compass High School Equivalence League graduation ceremony, which will be at Rialto Theater in Loveland on 4th Street. And that is from 6 to 7:30 as well. And then on October 23rd from 11 to 12:30, I'm doing a tour of Loveland Meals on Wheels, a meeting with the director in Loveland, and that is off of 437 North Garfield in Loveland. And then on, let's see. Sorry, Madam Chair. I think that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Cafalas?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. Welcome. I, too, will be attending the graduation ceremony at the Rialto, and I will not be attending the Livermore Community Wildfire Protection Plan kickoff event on Saturday, primarily because I'm taking my granddaughter to see a Nancy Drew production, debut theater company production.
Well, that sounds like fun. I have a couple weeks that things have gotten canceled. So the CDOT meeting for Region 4 Transportation on Thursday from 1 to 3 was canceled because they are working on the 10-year plan. They need additional time to do that and don't necessarily have time to meet with all the chairs in the region. And then on Thursday from 5 to 7, the Urban Renewal Authority Board meeting has also been canceled for lack of agenda items. And then, so I'm hoping to add some things to my schedule that day, some meetings that I can now take, but I'll let you know about that. And then on Saturday, October 25th, I will be part of the joint academy nominations process. So those are the interviews for the military academies for Senator Bennett and Senator Hickenlooper, and that will be from 8 to 5 on at the Daniels Fund location in Denver. So I'll be helping with those interviews, and that is it for me.
Madam
So,
Chair.
thank you. Yes,
One
Commissioner.
last thing, I'm sorry to interrupt. On Friday, I know that you have the joint CCAP meeting. Maybe go ahead and list us, because if it's still happening, I thought they had canceled those going forward. And so if it's still on the calendar, I probably will try to attend that, but if it isn't, so I don't, maybe go ahead and list us, but I thought they were discontinued.
I think that they were discontinued. I don't know if they were all discontinued. It's when things still show up on my calendar, I'm never quite sure. So I think probably getting some confirmation about that would be helpful.
Yeah,
We'll try to do that for
Yeah,
you.
go ahead and list me too, just so that, because if it's still going, I'll probably go, but it's been pulled off mine, so I'm just curious, so. But I just thought in case I show up, we probably should post it. Thank you.
All right. So with that, we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is the consent agenda. I'll read through those items on the consent agenda, relatively short this morning. So the first item on our consent agenda is an agreement. It's Amendment 1 to the contract between Larimer County Department of Human Services and Meals on Wheels of Loveland and Berthoud. This will amend the contract, and the total dollar amount shall not exceed $357,839, and that contract will be in place through June 30th of 2026. We have one appointment, a recommended midterm appointment to the Estes Park Local Marketing District for our fellow commissioner, Commissioner Jody Shattuck McNally, and she will serve a term beginning on October 14th, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2027. We have one letter of support for a local impact accelerator grant application. This is development of a county-wide waste diversion ordinance for construction and demolition debris and readily recyclable materials. And the grant would support consistency, economies of scale, and an operational foundation needed to support long-term investment in diversion facilities and infrastructure. Well, 4 liquor licenses. The first is for the Colorado Cherry Company. That is a beer in Lyons, Colorado. That's a beer and wine license. We have a liquor license renewal for Potbelly Restaurant and Lounge in Red Feather Lakes. This is a tavern license. We have a special event liquor permit 6% for National Philanthropy Day in Estes Park, and that is a special event liquor permit 6%. And then a liquor license renewal for Dow House near Estes Park, and that is a hotel and restaurant with optional premise license. We'll have one letter of concurrence for Colorado Parks and Wildlife. This relates to Colorado Parks and Wildlife's efforts to enter into a permanent easement between CPW and Freedom Storage LLC for off-site stormwater drainage associated with CPW's planned new regional office at I-25 and East County Road 50. The permanent easement is mutually beneficial for both parties, and the new office will provide increased customer service to all residents and visitors of Northern Colorado. We have 4 resolutions. The first is a resolution to approve changes in fees for the Office of Larimer County Coroner relating to non-Larimer County use of the morgue. So we also help other communities that don't have these coroner services, and so we are updating the fee schedule for those non-county partner agencies. Not only are they non-county, some of them are non-state, but some smaller communities obviously don't have these kind of services. So we are happy to provide those, but want to provide fees that are commensurate with the amount of work that's being done. And we have one finding and resolution denying the Bradbury Administrative Special Review short-term rental. This was to be for an 8-guest short-term rental in an existing single-unit residence. As I said, it was denied, and that public hearing for the item was held on September 8th, 2025. We have updates to Title 29 regulations relating to the Larimer County Department of Natural Resource Areas and Facilities, and these are effective date January 2026 until they are superseded or replaced by new laws. And then finally, a resolution eliminating the sales tax vendor fee. This resolution eliminates the 2.22% vendor fee for collections and remittance of sales tax levied by Larimer County. So in the past, it was not as easy to determine the tax and to levy the tax to the county. And so we collected a fee, or we gave a fee to the vendors to be able to expedite this process. But now with everything being computerized and new software that handles this kind of work, we no longer feel this is necessary. And also the state is also eliminating this vendor fee as well. So we are going to be in line with the state on this item. So that is it for our consent agenda. I would ask Commissioner Kafalis to make a motion on this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve the consent agenda for October 14th, 2025.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? I would just say thank you, Commissioner Shattuck McNally, for agreeing to serve in your new role. I appreciate that. I know that adds another meeting to your life, but thank you. With that, a motion on the table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. So we will move on to our first discussion item. This is requesting commissioners set a public hearing date of November 10th, 2025 at 3 p.m. to review the petition for approval of the Health Service District Service Plan modifications. And we have Leslie Ellis from Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources here with us to tell us about this item. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Leslie Ellis, Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources. I'm here for a very brief item. This almost would have been on the consent agenda, except that it's a little bit different and atypical for what you often see there. By state statute in Colorado, when a district is doing a modification to their service plan, they have to petition the Board of County Commissioners for approval of those modifications. And so there's a whole statutory process laid out, and one of the steps in the process is to set the hearing within a certain period of time. And so on October 3rd, we received from the Park Hospital District in Estes Park a petition for approval of modifications to their health service district. And so under state law, you're required to set the hearing. And so we're currently processing that petition and reviewing it. And so we're requesting to set a public hearing date of November 10th at 3 p.m. And excuse me, sorry, I'm a little hoarse today. So you'll hear a little bit more later today about the scope and requirements of that statutory process. But really, I'm just here to ask that you could make a motion to set the public hearing date on November 10th at 3 p.m. for review of that petition.
Thank you, Leslie. Any questions for Leslie on this item? Okay. Well, we will hear more about this, so this is obviously just to set that date. So with no questions, I'll ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally to make the motion on this item.
Certainly, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move to approve the request for a public hearing date on November 10th, 2025 at 3 p.m. to review the petition for approval of the Health Services District Service Plan modifications.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Director Ellis. Appreciate that. So we will now move on to approval of the Board of Equalization referee recommendations. Commissioner Kafalis, I'll ask you to move us into convening as the Board of Equalization, and then it looks like this morning we get to hear from Elizabeth Carter and Diane Cheney presenting.
Great, thank you. I move to convene as the Board of Equalization.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. All in favor say aye.
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 That motion passes 3-0. Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth Carter with the Clerk and Recorder's Office. I just have one housekeeping item before I turn it over to Diane. There is one account, it's account R044766, which was initially on your list of recommendations. We, in conjunction with the Assessor's Office, have agreed to move that hearing. It will take place this Thursday, October 16th. So just wanted to alert you to that. And when you make your motion to either approve or deny the referee's recommendations, again, if it could just exclude account R044766.
Thank you. Thank you for alerting us to that. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. And I will hand it over to Diane.
Good morning. My name is Diane Cheney, recording specialist with the Recording Department in the Clerk and Recorder's Office. I'm here to review the referee's recommendations from the Board of Equalization hearings that took place between September 30th and October 8th, 2025. This period includes a total of 914 accounts, including real property, mobile homes, business personal property, oil and gas, severed mineral rights, and possessory interest accounts. Of those 914 accounts, we held 395 hearings. 412 of those accounts were adjusted, and of those, 130 were stipulated changes that took place between the petitioner and the assessor's office prior to the hearing taking place. 502 accounts were denied. The percentage of change from September 30th through October 8th, 2025 is negative 4.78%. The year-to-date total percentage change is negative 6.23%. This is down from last week's total percentage change of negative 7.69%. Staff will present the final referee's recommendations to the County Board of Equalization at next week's administrative matter hearings. Elizabeth or I are happy to answer any questions that you have at this time.
Thank you, Diane. Appreciate that. Any questions for Diane? Okay, as we said, these numbers are a moving target, so we will get those final reports, and we'll look forward to hearing that next week. I don't have any further questions. Thank you for the information, and we'll make sure that we make the motion that excludes that number that you gave. So with that, I will ask Commissioner Kafalas to make that motion approving the recommendations minus the one item.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Let's see, I move to approve the recommendations submitted by the Board of Equalization referee for the hearings held September 30th through October 8th, 2025, minus the account number R044766.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. And then, Commissioner, one more motion to adjourn us.
Yes, I move to adjourn the meeting as the Board of Equalization and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. Thank you both for being here. We appreciate it. So we're moving along, and we will move on to our county manager update.
And I will keep it very brief. It feels like last week the things we did were all related to budget and preparing for publishing the budget by tomorrow as required by statute. I want to give a special thank you to all the department directors and elected officials who came together and really participated in that. And a really special thank you to Matthew Bahanen, our budget team lead, Alex Jordan, our budget analyst, and Josh Fudge, our performance budget and strategy director. Those three worked a lot throughout the year to make this a fairly painless process, as it turned out. So thank you to all of them, and folks can look for the budget to be published by tomorrow. We have one of the meetings scheduled for next week is a work session that will be televised to go through that document and point out the highlights. And so any member of the public or a staff member who's interested in seeing more of those details should pay attention to that work session.
Thank you, Lorinda. Any questions for Lorinda? No, go ahead. Did you have a question?
Just a quick question. Thank you, Lorinda. Regarding, and maybe you mentioned this and I may not have heard properly, the draft budget will be made available to the public as of tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Yep. Hopefully today, but certainly by tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline.
And how can folks access that, please?
They can access it on larimer.gov and navigate to the budget page.
All right. So if you please, we encourage the public to engage in that way and to contact us if you have any questions about the budget, but we appreciate that work from both you and the budget team. Thank you. I know it's a long process getting here, so we appreciate that. So with that, we will, move on to our commissioner activity reports. Commissioner Shattuck McNally, I'll ask you to start.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will just share a few things that I think are of note for my colleagues. I wanted to let you know last Tuesday on October 7th, I had a very robust meeting with the Platte River Power Authority staff, Javier and Leah. Lee from Platte River Power Authority and their community outreach and PIO group. And I had a lot of questions about their upcoming IRP. They're submitting a new confirmation of their commitment to closing down the coal plant, as I understand, in 2029. And it was a robust conversation, but I appreciated their time. And we also talked about some legislation, about some actions that we have taken on recurring data centers and stuff. So I just wanted to kind of share that I had that meeting with them and had a lot of questions. I had breakfast with the fire chief in Loveland, lots going on, and as they are working on their budget, which had just gotten approved last week by the city council in Loveland. And so lots of questions for him, as it is a fire department that has a rural portion and the city portion and how those interact. So I had some clarifications on that. Then I was very excited to go to the fall address and University picnic from President Amy Parsons. It was a beautiful day in the Oval, lots of students and community members and lots of great conversations. And that was a really uplifting fall address. So yeah, I think it's online. You can watch the video and hear about that. Then I walked over and came up to the county attorney's office and kind of came and joined their snack little snack attack meeting, and so that was fun. I was not brave enough to try the seaweed and the Spam submission. They had voted on different snacks, but I was not brave enough to try that. But I appreciate them inviting me, and that was fun. We had the NACO Rural Committee annual call, and there was really basically nothing of note, but it was a good meeting. And then I went out and drove to the UC Health and its Medical Center of the Rockies for a Caring for the Community event, which was very interesting. Lots of community leaders from around the region. And we heard about some of the trauma services and the numbers that they are seeing and the tremendous outcome from that trauma program and how many people actually are impacted and the amount of deaths overall in the nation that are impacted from trauma, which is one of the leading causes of deaths. And they're doing a whole blood program and working on this trauma services, which is seeing really a lot of great outcomes. And so that is, it's very hard to get that program up and going. I would encourage folks to go to their website and learn about that. But it is something to help with bleeding, and there's a Stop the Bleed program. And then their thrombectomy clinic, which is a very cutting edge and unique here in Larimer County. And they're seeing some great results, including some case studies where a 38-year-old pregnant woman had a full recovery from this procedure. And so it was great to hear from those talented surgeons and experts who are just outstanding in their fields, and got to play the Da Vinci robotic surgical machine. And I found out that that's going to take a little mastery for someone like me to learn how to use that, but I appreciate the opportunity. And I want to thank them for their kind and warm welcome. They gave me a big shout out for the governor has just appointed me to the statewide Emergency Medical Trauma Services Advisory Council, which I'll mention in a second. And so I appreciate them celebrating that and giving me a shout out. That was very kind. And then I think Commissioner Cafalis and I went up to Colorado Parks and Wildlife Community Dinner. They had their meeting, their annual meeting with the commission up here at Embassy Suites in Loveland, and they have a community dinner, and they invited some partners. And so we had some DNR staff and other staff from open lands or natural areas from Fort Collins and Lowry State Park, and it was really nice to hear from all of them. We had a great discussion, and also Chris Stubbs, the U.S. supervisor for the Arapahoe Roosevelt National Forest and Pawnee Grasslands, was there. And so it was a great opportunity to make some connections and do a little networking. Then I drove up to the state, my first in-person state quarterly meeting for the state, or they call it SEMTAC, State Emergency Medical and Trauma Services Board. Folks there were very excited to see me there. There was quite a few people from Larimer County that are on or associated with that, and a lot of folks we're excited. They remember former Commissioner Lou Gator and his service on that committee. And so they were excited to meet and talk with me. And so that was interesting to learn. The other commissioners that were there, the president or chair of CCI, Scott Weaver from Yuma, was there. And I met with Routt County commissioners and in person had some conversations with them. So that was a great opportunity to network and also some of our connections. We can talk about how it works with our emergency management as we're talking about youth and unaccompanied minors and having some kind of emergency plan for those folks. So it was a really great time to meet folks. And then I drove back Friday night to really be excited to attend the Big Elk Meadow Trail opening. That's at Bobcat Ridge. As my colleagues know, we gave some money, I think $1 million, for the help of the purchase of that of the extra development that was not going to go into development of 18 or plus home sites, but now is all open area. And we also own the conservation easement on that whole outside area. So great partnership. And so it was a great kickoff. And they have, I think I brought it, have a great little map and fun stickers for the Big Elk Meadow. There's the trail on that new area and a nice little map and the historic cabin, which is really fun to see and kind of a reminder of how folks maybe didn't have even floors, just dirt floors. So that was a fun time, and I appreciate the staff. And it was very popular. A lot of people came and were hiking and getting their custom opening stickers and piece cake. So a lot of a couple of groups drove up from Denver that wanted to come and hike the trail and check it out. So I thought that was remarkable. So I wanted to share about that and just grateful for our partnership with the Fort Collins Natural Areas as we layer conservation easements and partnerships. So I just wanted to share that with you. And then last night with our, as we all attended the Marisol film and our partnership, it was really outstanding to see all of our the range of folks there. We had some people from boards and commissions, and I just want to commend our partners with Northern Water, Colorado Open Lands, and Colorado Water Center, and thank Director Leslie Ellis for her outstanding work and job well done in helping organize and get that out. And thanks for my colleagues for making some insightful comments. And I thought it was heartening to see a lot of folks. There were a lot of CSU professors or former or retired CSU professors who had a lot to say afterwards. We had a lot of good conversations at the end, and excited to see that again shown on November 3rd at Northern Water from 5 to 7. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kafalis.
Thank you. I'll just mention a couple of things that haven't already been mentioned. So in addition to some of the events that have been stated at which I attended as well, I did speak with the Fort Collins Rotary Club on Wednesday, and it was a good group of folks. Thanks to our county treasurer, Irene Josie, for inviting me. Talked about the budget, where the county's at with all of that, some of the major capital construction projects like the solid waste and the ranch and our emergency services building. We had our workforce development board meeting on Wednesday morning at Hartside Hill, and that was good for those folks to see that project, and there were some good updates on various programs, including the adult literacy program that they're bringing back to the economic and workforce development folks. Aaliyah Rodriguez was there, and she gave a great presentation about the county's role in housing affordability. So that was really good. And yeah, I also want to echo the shout out regarding the event last night, the future of water and agriculture in Colorado. Shout out to Leslie Ellis. I thought it was well organized. I think we had close to 200 folks, 190 perhaps. The panel was great, actually. Very, what's the proper word? Definitely their comments and the questions, their responses to the questions that were offered by the director of the CSU Colorado Water Center, Karen Schlatter, were quite, what's the word I'm trying to come up with? Insightful, a little bit, yeah, definitely something to think about in terms of ideas and approaches. And the surveys that were asked to be filled out at the end are going to be really important in addition to the November 3rd event, and that'll provide us all with maybe some specific actions that we could take as a follow-up to the event. Oh, and I do want to mention, I suppose, so on Sunday morning, Beth and I and the grandkid and our friend Jim, we went up to Bobcat Ridge, and our goal was to hike the new Elk Meadows Trail. And we had a lovely morning. It was beautiful, a little windy. We made it as far as the historic cabin, and that's as far as we got. So we'll have to try it again some other time. Anyway, that's all, Madam Chair and colleagues.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Well, I was gone for a lot of last week recharging, so I appreciate the time. And thank you, Commissioner Shattuck McNally, for subbing for me at the work session. I did attend last night's event, and I thought it was very well done. And I'm glad Commissioner Shattuck McNally reminded folks that there is another opportunity to see that film, because I neglected to do that at yesterday's meeting. But I do think the comments were insightful and really give us some great ideas about how we can, as electeds, and work with our staff to make sure that we have policies that continue to support agriculture in our community. So I think that was one takeaway for sure from that. Because I was gone, I don't have that much, but I will just announce that I received a fellowship for, this is for the inaugural Abundance Elected Fellowship Cohort. And so I will probably not be, it'll be a couple weekends spread out through about 18 months, but this is a new program. If anybody's read the book Abundance, it's talking about how do we create more housing in our communities and more opportunities for renewable energy and other things. So I'm excited to embark in this fellowship, and I don't think it will interfere at all with the work that I'm doing, but I'm really honored to be a part of this inaugural cohort. So with that, we have one more item, which is legal matters, and so I will ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally to move us into an executive session, and then we do not expect a decision after that, so we will not be returning. So Commissioner Shattuck McNally, will you make the motion for that?
Certainly, Madam Chair. I move that the Board of County Commissioners of Larimer County move into executive session pursuant to the Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6-402, subsection 4B, conferences with an attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice about the county's scope of authority to review the petition for approval of Health Service District Service Plan modifications submitted by the Estes Park Hospital District.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We will now move into executive session, and we will see you next week, Larimer County.